Welcome, beloveds. Today we gather in the shadows. We gather to remember a story we know too well, the story of a man killed by empire, a man whose love was too wild, too liberating, too much, a story that is still being lived. We gather with our candles lit and the cross before us. We do not rush to resurrection. We stay with the suffering. We hold vigil for the crucified. In Scripture, in history, in us. Let us begin.
The 7 last words. Number 1, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Luke 23:34. Let's be honest, forgiveness is rarely our first instinct, especially when we've been hurt, especially when the people doing the hurting don't even know, or worse, don't care. And yet, while bleeding on a cross built by cruelty and cowardice, Jesus prays, Father, forgive them. It's not a sermon, not a demand, not a guilt trip. It's a prayer, a lifeline, a cry of love from the lips of the crucified. Because sometimes they don't know what they're doing when they exclude us. Sometimes we don't know what we're doing when we say the thing that hurts, or when we stay silent and let injustice roll on. And sometimes we do know and still need grace anyway. So here's Jesus, still choosing mercy, even from the cross, still opening a door we didn't earn, still saying, even now, love wins. God, give us the guts to forgive like that, and the humility to know when we're the ones who need it.
Truly, I tell you today, you will be with me in paradise. Luke 23:43. This line wrecks us because it flips the whole religious scoreboard. The guy next to Jesus didn't do any of the right things. He didn't clean up his act, didn't make amends, didn't say the sinner's prayer. He just said, remember me. And Jesus said, today you'll be with me, just like that. And if grace can reach him, it can reach us. The ones who relapsed, the ones who snapped at our kids, the ones who left the church and came back messy, the ones who haven't prayed in months but showed up anyway. We don't earn paradise. It comes when we're seen, when we're remembered, when we're loved just as we are. That's the kind of God we follow. A God who doesn't gatekeep heaven. A God who whispers, even on the edge of death, there's still room.
Woman, here is your son. Here is your mother. John 19, verses 26 and 27. In the middle of unimaginable suffering, Jesus doesn't give a lecture or a prophecy. He gives a relationship. He sees his mother, sees his friend, and says, take care of each other. It's not just tenderness, it's strategy. Because when the systems fall apart, when the empire turns violent, we don't survive by ourselves. We become family. And isn't that what we've done? Found community in the wilderness, built new kinship when our old ones couldn't hold us. This is church, not a building, but a circle of arms, not bloodlines, but beloveds. Jesus didn't say follow all the rules. He said, take care of her, take care of him, make sure no one is left alone. May we do the same.
my God, why have you forsaken me? Mark 15:34. If we're being real, this is the line we feel the most because sometimes we look around at the violence, the silence, the weight of it all, and we ask, God, where are you? This isn't doubt. This is the faith with bruises. This is what it sounds like when we trust God enough to scream. We've cried this in hospital rooms. We've cried this in protest. We've cried this when the church failed us, when family turned away, when we couldn't feel God at all. And still, Jesus says it too. The Son of God crying out into the void, which means we're not alone, which means our rage is holy, which means we can stop pretending and tell the truth. God can handle the real us, the broken us, the questioning, grieving, cursing us. Thanks be to God.
I am thirsty. It's such a small human line. No poetry, no theology, just need. We are thirsty too. Thirsty for justice, for connection, for safety, for someone to notice we're not okay. Thirsty for a world that doesn't crush the same people over and over. We're so used to hiding our thirst, performing like we're fine. But Jesus doesn't pretend. He says it out loud. I am thirsty. And if Jesus can speak his need, so can we. We can admit the ache. We can name what we long for. We can ask for help, ask for healing, ask for water, in whatever form it takes. Jesus wasn't ashamed to be human. Let's not be either.
It is finished. John 19:30. Jesus doesn't say he is finished. He says it is finished. And maybe that's what we need to hear today. That violence we've carried, the shame that has been weaponized against us, the exhaustion of trying to earn what has already been given, that stuff is finished. Not because we fixed it, but because love ended it on the cross. This is not the end of the world. It's the end of the lie that says we're not enough. The end of the script that says God is far away. The end of pretending grace is for other people. Jesus says, it is finished. And we believed him.
Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. The Gospel according to Luke 23:46. Sometimes surrender looks like peace, and sometimes it looks like collapsing in the arms of someone who won't let go. That's what we hear here. Jesus didn't float upward, glowing and victorious. He gave himself away because he trusted that death wasn't the end and that love still held him. We've done this too. We've let go of what we can't control. We've handed over our fear, our plans, our grief. We've fallen apart and trusted that we would be caught. Today, we do it again, not with certainty, but with trust, not with perfection, but with presence. God, we place our spirit in your hands. Hold us. We're tired, but we're yours.
Friends, if you have a candle, I invite you to extinguish it now. For each wound we have named, each sorrow still lived, we let go of light, not because hope is gone, but because we dare to wait in the dark. For the wound of injustice, for the wound of silence, for the wound of abandonment, for the wounds that are still unnamed. So now we open the chat here. You are invited to type a lament. Begin with "we lament," or "we grieve," or "we remember." For every life lost to hatred, for every child that is locked in a cage, for every body that's been violated, for every flood, every fire, every war, we lament. We lament for silence in the face of suffering, for churches that have turned away, for systems that still crucify. We cry out, Christ, have mercy.
We will continue to receive your laments. I invite you just to take a moment of silence and read through all the laments that the community has lifted. If you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, I invite you to lift up laments in the comments as well. Know this, you are not alone. This day is not the end, but it is real. We stay here not to despair, but to become more tender, to become more true. And we will rise. But today we remember how deep love goes. The cross is not a relic. It is the street corner. It is the prison bed. It is the storm shelter. The cross is still among us, and so is Christ. So I invite you to linger for as long as you want, to stay on the lament chat, listen to the music, and to spend some time in silence. Stay near the sorrow. Let love make you brave. Even in the grave, love remains.